What? No theme music, nah?
Gusto, now Chris the host. Man, I make a little dinner whilst fasting joke. Come to the yard, get it off your chest. There's no hard feelings when you're rocking with the best. Everything's crisp, everything's nice. Throw a little sugar, add a little spice. Ask school questions, cook a little rice. Gamble like Vegas and throw a little dice.
Raise your glasses, make a toast. Drop by Chris for a Sunday roast. Or 8 taste of his mixology. Get twisted and not off the Hennessy. Now your belly's full, play a game of ball. Gusto, he's coming from the old school. No if buts, maybes, whys. No silly questions, I tell no lies.
Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.
Live talks with the gypsy baller, Mr. Tanner Adu. A bit. We're back on.
Was that an hour?
Pardon?
Was that an hour, yeah?
Yeah. I told you it's going to go longer than an hour. I told everyone, I said I warned everyone, so you know, I prepared for this day.
Gypsy baller, that's why, gypsy baller, man. But yeah, when I got there, that's when I actually felt like I made it. Yeah, like I was earning good money. They treat you like a proper, like, the fans.
Treat like a professional.
The fans are in love with you. Like, there's like, but the thing is, it's really hard because they're so passionate, the fans. Like, there's certain games we had where they're chanting like racist stuff to the opposition team. But we're, mixed race, black, like Americans.
So how did that make you feel though? Like, even though they were supporting you, but they're saying racist things to the other players, that must put you in a weird predicament because it's like, hold on.
So weird. It's so weird. It's like, because the thing is, right, you know that they're doing it because they're trying to put the opposition off. If they didn't like black people, they wouldn't like us either. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it is still a form of racism, you know, even though you don't hate someone, it's what you say, you know. So
it's what you're saying.
Like a lot of our, like, the two Americans didn't like it at all, but I'm just one of these people. I'm like, if I'm in this situation, I'm not going to do, nothing I can do can change it. I'm just going to live with it, sort of thing, you know, like, and it was tough, but you know, I just got on with it. I'm there to play basketball at the end of the day, and it wasn't that great, to be fair. Like, it was, and you have to speak to these fans after as well, and like, you just like,
it's mad, isn't it? Like you gotta have that conversation with them and say to them, you know, like, it's mad. You gotta pretend that you didn't hear what they said. Not pretend, but it's like,
but
you know what they said.
If you speak to them, they don't even know they're doing anything wrong. Do you see what I'm saying? We're just trying to put them off, and they're just like saying them racial slurs is the same as saying like you're rubbish. You know what I mean? Like, that's how they kind of look at it.
The culture's different.
It's different. It is, man. It is. But so then, like, this is towards the end of my career because I just had my daughter, and like, I come back in the summer, and I wasn't there for her birth, because it was like she come early, so I couldn't like jump in the plane and make it. So like that really affected me that I weren't there for her birth. So when I moved back to London, I got really like comfortable, like to be able to see my daughter and stuff. And then what I thought was I would sign for a team here up until like just before playoffs, where teams are looking to pick someone up. And I had like 2 teams in Serie A, the top one, that were interested in taking me around that time. So I was like, all right, I'll play BBL and then I'll go back out, and then I could at least spend some time with my daughter and stuff. And I signed for Mersey Tigers, right?
That saga. I'm surprised they didn't stay around longer. They should be. Liverpool's they love basketball over there, man. I don't know why they ain't got a team. That surprises me.
Well, this is what I'm saying. The year before they did the treble, so I was like, this is a good team to go to. So again, the guy was on my case, like calling me until I signed the paper. And I signed the paper, the contract, and I didn't hear from him. I was calling him, didn't hear from him. And then 2 weeks before the season started, they did
2 weeks. This is the theme. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. They did the press release. Mersey Tigers have folded. So I was
why couldn't they just said like before like there's certain things going on? I don't think it's all right to sign right now. Why don't they do that?
And that's how some coaches are. They'll be on your case until something's a bit murky, and then they don't treat you like they're your friend. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's why I respect coaches like Newbie and Creon, and because they're your friend no matter what. Do you know what I mean?
They will tell you straight what's going on, man.
Yeah. So
there are I've heard stories of some coaches doing that, just dipping soon as things fold or they owe money. And I'm not saying the names, but I know I heard coaches dip as soon as they owe money or something.
I know a lot. But there was one thing that I never let happen, was that someone didn't pay me for what I did for their club. You know what I mean? Like, I never dropped it. Like, some people were like, all right, cool, whatever, let me just move on. I was always like, nah, I want all the money that you owe me, and then I'll move on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have...
And then you got bills to pay, man, and all that, so...
Exactly. I mean. So I was, again, in a situation where, but this time, I'm older, I'm like 30, 31. My knees, I was supposed to stop playing 2 years ago, so I started thinking about, like, what am I going to do after basketball? So I started coaching, and then I signed for Essex Leopards.
Yeah.
And they're really, it's kind of like what Orland's doing now, you know? Like, you kind of get to the point where I'm not chasing stats to get a big contract the next year.
Because Orland's had a good career anyway.
Yeah, it's more about your situation in life, you know? And I knew they're just such a well-run club. They treat you like you're a professional as well, like even though they're D1. And I was good friends with them. And they tried to sign me for like at least 10 years. So I went there. And then again, we had a really good team. We had me. Do you remember Carl Josie?
Yeah. Carl Josie,
Carl Josie. Ishmael was on our team.
Fontaine.
Yeah.
Mr. Fontaine.
2 Americans. We had Lawrence Brown, who was like one of the only 7-foot basketballers at that time. And yeah, it was really good. So we ended up playing, and then we got into the trophy final. And the trophy was the only thing I'd never won. I'd won like 8 trophies in the D1 before, but I never won the trophy, like the NBL trophy. So I was going at it. And Carl and our American had a slow start, but I was going, like, hitting shots. And what's funny is we were playing against Tees Valley Mohawks. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was crazy because I was playing against Dean Hansen, who was Tony Hansen's son. So it was someone that I saw.
I think so, yeah.
and he went off. He had like 30 in the first half. So yeah, it gets towards the end of the game, and we're up by 1. I'm hands down nailed on for MVP because I always loved MVPs. Like I was like, yeah. 4 minutes before the game ended, I was at the top of the key, and I've like ripped through, and I've gone to go. And then I just felt someone just like bam on the back of my heel. So I turned around to the referee. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Why would you step on my heel? And he looked at me. He was like, are you nuts? Like, I wasn't near you. Felt down. Achilles gone. Like, out of the game. And then from there, it was like, yeah, I'm not like trying to force it back and blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I was trying to look at after like basketball, my life, and getting into coaching and stuff like that. So yeah, that pretty much I didn't stop playing, but that ended my career. So
you didn't play at that level no more, so you kind of just feel about recovering really.
Mixed up with my knees as well. I had arthritis in my knees. It was like I'm not forcing it, and that's the advice I give to anyone. Don't force it to be a basketballer just because it's like you're a basketballer. Like, you got to use basketball. Don't let basketball use you.
Because at the end of the day, you're still human at the end of the day. You still have a life outside of basketball, man. So you can't really rely on it, man. So I get that, man.
Sure. So, yeah, so that's when, like, I went into, like, the coaching side. And then, sorry, let me just put
So you got into, so after that then, so coming after your career, fast forward a bit then, what was your role in England basketball? Because I believe you worked there for a bit, right?
Yeah, I was there 5 years. So at that time, I was coaching at University of East London, and the guy there was like, "Yo, there's this role that's just come out. Like, I think you'll be really good for it." So I applied for it, got the job. That was my first job I ever had in my life. You know, like I had no experience, no nothing, but what they knew.
But obviously, yeah, your credentials of playing basketball would help that. Definitely.
Yeah, and what they knew is that I got on with like everyone within the basketball circuit, and at that time, the CEO, he was more on like trying to get everyone in London to work together, and so he wanted me to kind of lead that kind of vision or whatever. So I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the best roles. Like, well, it was my only job, but I was like, am I really working? Like, because the job was from home, I worked from home. I just had to be in Sheffield once a month, and I got given 2 projects that were like just what I feel passionate about, and that's getting kids into basketball. So one of them was the Satellite Club project, which I would fund the clubs. So like Laken, like his club, and like people that I knew, I could fund their club to...
Okay, so that's how it works. Okay.
Yeah, so I would I'll fund them to put sessions on, but I would provide them with schools to do the sessions, so they wouldn't have to pay for court hire.
Okay.
And the sessions were just very basic, like just that, giving kids that first positive experience of basketball, you know, that can take them on. And what the clubs can do is they're at the school and they can pick the best players to join their program. So I had that one, and then the biggest one was the junior NBA. So like, 2 weeks into my role, my manager was like, "We're going to meet the NBA." So I went to the NBA offices and sat down.
So you flew over to the States, yeah?
No, they got an office in London.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
so
okay.
I met the head guy over there, and we just sat down and just drew up this junior NBA league. Now, they had never tried it before, and they wanted to pilot it in London, the first place in the world. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow,
okay,
like, this is big. So We piloted it. It was like my project at the beginning, and now it's in 52 different countries. You know, we've got 16 different leagues in England, and
I didn't even know that.
I think me working for Basketball England, it showed me the other side, right? I think a lot of people kind of, they look at Basketball England so negatively without understanding certain things, yeah? And they got every reason to, because back in the day, Basketball England wasn't, you know, looked at favourably, but there's got to be a time where we change that. And that's what we were trying to do in Basketball England. And one of the main problems is it's understaffed, you know, like, so people will moan. I've seen some serious, like, disrespectful conversations from people at basketball clubs towards the staff at Basketball England. And that was like eye-opening. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, the way some people talk to the staff there, it's not on. You know what I mean?
Or in the office, or just like in general? In
the office. And these people in the office, I'm not even lying, they work really, really hard, because at that time we were a bit understaffed, you know. Yeah. So I kind of looked at it from both sides of the coin. Like, there was even questions that I thought, like, why don't they do this? But when I got in there, I kind of understood why they don't do it. So one example, right? What do we all say about the age kids should start basketball?
Pardon?
What do we say, like, the age that kids should start basketball?
I don't think I've ever said there's a particular age of dudes they should start. But what I've seen, though, a lot of kids who do start playing basketball in the country, they've always been 10 and above, always. Yeah. Not always, but sometimes they start. Like, a lot of people like yourself, they'll be like, I played football first, then basketball. At older age. Yeah. And like, I believe kids can, like, because coming from Brixton, you could play at any age. You used to get babies in there, and babies will start playing. Yeah. So for me,
and that's what it is. So I've always thought of that. Sorry, I'm just putting my charger in. I've always thought that if you look at other countries, right, kids start at 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't Basketball England do it? When I joined, I realised why Basketball England don't do it, because we don't get funded to do it. They never got funded to do it. If you look at my satellite club programme, it was for 14 plus. So we get the funding from Sport England, yeah? So we can't then spend that money on stuff for kids under 14. Do you see what I'm saying? So then it becomes a thing where clubs have to kind of enforce that. And there are a lot of clubs that do it, you know what I mean? But it's kind of out of Basketball England's hands, because they haven't got the funding to do it. So that's where the new guys have come in, and we had a whole restructure. They kind of like focused on like the media side, and and also focused on like, how can we do something for kids but like self-fund it, sort of thing, like thinking of ways to do that, which is where I think they're going in the right direction. But yeah, with that restructure, I got another role, and that was as delivery manager for all the National League programs. Yeah, so you're talking anything from Division 1 men to under 14s to EABL to ABL to junior NBA. Only 2 people were managing the whole thing, right?
Okay, yeah.
I'll give you an example, right? So I used to have a 2-week window to do the fixtures for every league in this country.
You did the fixtures?
For every league in the country. And it's not as easy as like just like simulating it and just...
No, it's not. You've got...
Every club has stipulations of when they can play at home, when they can play away. Do you know what I mean? Because they got leisure centres and...
Like Brixton had that thing where they only played their home games at Sundays. And Saturdays they had away games. So you had to look at that structure of when you could...
I had to sit down in every league in the whole country and formulate the fixtures. Like, that's
why they get a certain time to register their players, or the teams to register the teams in that.
Yeah. I kind of appreciate the effort that the people in the office give, but I can understand why people that haven't seen that side of things don't understand, you know. But
that's probably people like myself coming in it, because obviously, because I don't understand it, what's going on in the office. We're gonna think something, like I still have my views on how they could improve.
Yeah.
Basketball, but you know what I mean, I don't understand what's going on in the office, but I do feel they really should have someone like yourself more in creative and control of stuff.
Okay, yeah. Like, and I saw a conversation that you had the other day, and it was about like something I fully believe in. Yeah, there has to be a mixture of ballers, ex-ballers, and I'm not talking about just giving.
Orlan, it was Orlan.
Orlan, that's it. There has to be a mixture, right? Because, and I'm not just saying just because you play ball, you get a job. You got to do your own, like, to be prepared for a job like that. But there has to be more of a mixture. When I was at Basketball England, it's only myself, Georgia Jones, and Steve Bucknell that have ever played basketball before. Now, that's not me saying, like, business people shouldn't be in it, because they should. Because that's where we struggled before.
I think, like you're saying, it's a good idea. They should have a mixture, because you got some people who are business savvy, but at the same time, people who are business savvy should also get some advice from people who played the game, and that's where you can mix things together and have ideas. So someone with a business done, but you can't have
exactly what
three people who play basketball in working for Basketball England. Doesn't work, man. It's like it doesn't work, man. Like, if you look at, I always refer to the NBA every time. You look at the NBA, sometimes you get ex-players who played basketball as assistant coaches or development coaches, and you also got people who are business-minded running the team as well. So it's a mixture. I think like Nick Van Exel still got a job. Nick Van Exel still got a job. That's why you got the guys on NBA TNT, the analysis, Charles Barkley, Shaq, and Kenny Smith, and then you got Ernie there, who's not played basketball, but he knows how to manage that kind of personality there.
Manage the thing, and that's what's got to happen, because what happened before, it was just basketballers, and then it got turned into now it's like just business people. My opinion is that it should be both, because the business people can be steered in the right way by the people in basketball. Yeah. But people in basketball, some of us don't have the knowledge of how to run a business. Do you know what I mean? So why not all work together to just make it like one? I'll give you an example, right? When I joined as a delivery manager for the National League, one of the things I wanted to do is improve the finals events. Yeah, because as a player, when I played in a final, I didn't feel like it was a final event, you know. So, and this is how simple this thing is. You look at Midnight Madness, right? Why did everyone fall in love with Midnight Madness at the beginning?
Bro, because building up from the Midnight Madness, from when it started in summer, the build up to it was good, but the finals were so great because one thing my uncle taught me, he said presentation is key. How Midnight Madness, how they presented that finals, they presented it like it was an event. Bro, just everything.
Do you know how simple it is? Do you know how simple it is? Let me just say, it's a simple.
Do you know what it did with
making the court black?
Yeah. Just change the colour of the court.
To play on the court because the court was black.
Everyone loved that. Everyone was like, "What? Look at that! Oh my god!" And on top of it as well, and on top of it, what I think they don't do in this country, they don't make players feel like, you got to treat them like stars. You have to treat them like stars. Like, when you lot were Midnight Madness, the way they introduced each player, and it was like, whoa, yeah, it's coming up, Tanadu. Then everyone's screaming, Marcus Knight, screaming, and like, it's like you're giving them that. All right, these are someone out here, man. Like, and that's what Midnight Madness did. Yeah. It was so amazing,
and that's what I tried to do. And you had a conversation with who is it? Hooper's Voice, isn't it, Mo? And you were talking about like, just the fact of like the players themselves, like raising the profile of players, because when you talk about a culture of fans, right? So you got fans in Europe, yeah. I told you the other day, they're just like football fans, yeah. But we're so different to Europe. We're more like America, and in the NBA, fans ain't like cult like fans. It's all about show and, you know, like going there looking good. So for me, it's got to start. The only way you can get cult fans is if you start by expressing everyone's personalities, the players' personalities, like what you're doing now, yeah? Because look at all reality TV programs. Why do people watch reality TV programs? Because
you want to get to know the person, you know what I mean?
You want to know the person.
I mean, it's like little things like, what is it? Even though I'm not into reality programs, but some of them, if it depends on the subject, like Love and Hip Hop. Yeah. It's okay, but I watch it because I'm like, right. Because Stevie J, he was like a producer in the 90s. You just know him as a producer. But when you find out what he's like as a person, you're like, right, this brother's a madman, you know, like, or he's funny, you know. And even when I said,
where we have to start, because the only way we'll get cult kind of followings from fans is if they fall in love with the players first, and then they will start loving the club.
That's where the angle. And I think as well, like with this show I'm doing, it's more like, gotta bring some of the legends back, man. Also, like bring some of yourself back. Like I had one with Marcus. I want to get some other players, like former players, interact with them, get them the side. Like I was saying yesterday.
The same. The NBA have all the ambassadors, like Mutombo, John Amici, all the old. I met Isaiah Thomas. I met because when I worked with the NBA, I was meeting all of these legends because their experiences are important too. You know, it can help shape the next generation as well.
It does, man. Like it's good seeing. That's why I watch the NBA TNT analysis show, not because of what they talk about mainly. I like seeing Shaq and Charles Barkley interact. We saw them as players, they were great as players, but them two just interacting and wanting to fight each other on set. Not that they were going to fight, but the argument on the set is great, because it's like, this is a side of the guys we ain't seen. Like Shaq's all talking about, I got 4 rings. Tell me, I don't give a damn if you got 4 rings, and then Kenny says he's big.
You've got to be entertaining, innit? And people's personalities, like you said, Teo and Matthew, all of them guys, they are entertaining. So
they're entertaining.
They will start loving the club through the players, you know, and it's up to us. So what you're doing is, you know, from the beginning you started, I reached out, I was like, this is so big, because
thanks, man.
Also, we have to work together. So someone like yourself or Hooper's Voice, I know you probably wouldn't approach Basketball England, right? Because of stories before where people approach them, they've said no and rare. But that will actually help. If you linked up with Basketball England, that will actually help our leagues over here. You see what I mean?
Yeah, definitely reach out. I'm a person, I'll try things. You know what I mean? The worst you can get is no, as long as you have another plan. But I know exactly, like what you're saying is exactly right. What I'm trying to do is more just, I want people to know players, man, because it's like that's one of the things I realized. Like, why don't no one know about basketball and don't know about the players? I thought it made more sense to know about the players. But this was going to originally be just all sorts of people on this show, but it made more sense because I love basketball, and I thought, why not I just get people to start? Let me start introducing the players. They have to know the players, know some of the legends as well. Yeah.
And you know another thing that I'll talk about that you spoke about before, the TV deal, right? The legendary
Yeah,
TV.
talk us about that, man.
That will... Right. What we got to understand, firstly, yeah, is we have to be an attractive proposition for the TV to show on TV. Us as basketball people, right? I'm telling you, I don't do enough. Do you watch every BBL game going? Do I? No.
I'll be realistic. I don't watch every BBL game. I'll be realistic.
Yeah, but what the point I'm trying to make, yeah, is if people that actually like the sport don't watch it, our TV viewing rates and stuff like that is not going to be attractive to Sky, BT, or anything like that. Think about 5 years ago. Are they going to want to go into, like, film a game in a school or a leisure centre?
No.
What we have to do is make it more attractive for... So if you go back in the day when we had a really good TV deal, we were playing in Wembley, MEN.
Wembley.
The
We don't play there no more.
So it's attractive because not only that, also the clubs had their own fans that used to come and watch. You can't sell to a TV like an arena that only has 1,000 people in it, even though we'd say that was all right for BBL. But in the grand scheme of things, people watch darts more than they do basketball.
It's mad. It's mad. And basketball is the second most participated sport in the country.
Right.
Second most. So, it's mad.
And you know what? Like on that, that's where you got and because I've been a part of it, that's where you've got to see there's been an improvement in terms of getting kids involved in basketball. Basketball England has improved in that by making more projects to get kids involved in it that add to that participation numbers. But we have to build from there now, because what did I say at the beginning? I went to a game at Wembley and I fell in love with the game, right? It's that first positive experience that keeps you with the game.
I get that 100%. Yeah, I get that. It's a bit like when I first went to what made me want to come to Leeds. Just how they treat basketball up there in Leeds and Sheffield. Like the first time I went there, that's what made me go to Leeds. I went to Sheffield. I was like, wait a minute, is this what it's like up here? Like, damn. And then when I first played in D3 and I watched the Division 1 game in Leeds, that was crazy. I was like, and this is when Newbie was coming up. I was like, I said, the fans actually, he's actually got fans who just, people fighting for a seat, people sitting on the floor. Like,
this is what I'm saying.
This is what this
from somewhere. It's got to start, and it's up to us to start it. It's like what you're doing. Us as fans of basketball, I try and watch more BBL, because when we go to a TV deal next, we're going to be showing figures from YouTube, where it's been on YouTube. If not, people ain't watching it. It's not. You're not going to get a TV deal. It is so simple, you know. So I think we all have to do more as basketball fans and supporting like it growing, rather than sitting back and just be like, why?
We all have to stick together. It's like you said, everyone has to stick together, everyone has to do their bit, and I think this is what's more important.
That's not just us. I think it's the governing bodies as well. I was thinking this the other day, What other league in the world do you not get promoted from Division 2 to Division 1?
Do you not get promoted?
Yeah.
Not that I can think of.
But in England, if you win Division 1, NBL, you don't get promoted to the BBL.
Yeah, you don't.
How does that make sense?
That's what I mean, and obviously for myself, I think that's normal, because it's like, because it's BBL, I'm thinking it's professional and then done, But every other league, if you're talking about in Spain, their top league, you can get into the top league by moving up the leagues. Same in Italy, same in France, and don't get me wrong, like I understand the other side, because if a D1 team wins the NBL, right, are they going to have the specifications to play in the BBL, like enough seats and blah blah blah? It also goes back to clubs building it themselves.
you know.
And also it goes back to what,
if there was that option.
And it goes back to what you mentioned earlier, and then someone else mentioned facilities, man. It's like a lot of these teams are borrowing facilities, so it's hard for them to class themselves as professional. Like, you got some places that are doing good. Newcastle, I think they've just bought. Newcastle's done something. Surrey Scorchers has got their own facility. London Lions, Copper Box, they basically run that themselves, and you got like Bristol Flyers are coming up. I think they've got a new stadium coming. So but there's obviously that Manchester's got this little leisure centre. They got a fan. Manchester's got fans, but the leisure centre they need to move from that leisure centre because it's not ideal.
I'd say, like, on a more positive note, that is an area that they have improved dramatically in terms of there is at least 6 or 7 teams that have small stadiums now, like Leicester, Worcester, Newcastle. Like, so that you have to applaud them clubs for getting to that.
Yeah, they're doing great. Leicester's doing great.
Yeah, I think the other thing is British players are getting more of a chance now as well, you know, and they're getting paid better to stay here. So I think that's a massive improvement for our league, you know.
We need to get someone saying something. We need to get right players in the right position.
Yeah. Who's that? Williams. Yeah, Williams. Yeah. That's my boy. Yeah, it's true. It's true, man. And like
Williams, what's up?
Yeah, Williams. And and what he's saying is true. It's like, yeah, I was there, but did I have as much control as I wanted? No, I didn't. You know what I mean? And that's why ultimately I ended up leaving, you know, like that's the problem, man. You gotta have the right people in the right places.
Yeah, man, we've got to do something, man. So definitely, man, it starts somewhere and we all got to support each other. There's a lot of podcasts out as well. So there's a lot of people on Instagram. It's like, I think really Basketball England could see what people are trying to do. Like, especially the BBL kid.
Listen,
that kid who does BBL fix.
If you lot need someone, like, I know the people to contact at Basketball England because there's some really, like, I got to shout out my sister Laura Doherty. She's like amazing. She does an amazing job, like, at Basketball England. And my manager Charlie Ford, he actually started the EABL. And what did he do? He got the right people. He got Sam from Hoopfit. Yeah. He got like coaches from around to come together and design a league where the promotion of the league is going to be good, but the talent's going to be good as well. So there's people in there that do a good job.
This is one thing I've said as well, and a lot of some people have agreed with it. The marketing in this country is poor. I'm sorry, like, it's atrocious. It's like
one thing. It has got better. It has got better.
It's got better.
Yeah, it's still not at the level. But this is what I'm saying. About people that don't know. But we didn't have a media team 5 years ago. We didn't have a media team. It used to be people with other positions that would like put out media reports. Now, like I said, the new people that come in, they want to focus more on that type of thing. And now there is a media team, so you see.
I think exactly. It's like Hooper's Voice and BBL Fix, who are on Instagram. They should really be given the reins to do a lot of news, give out a lot of news about the BBL, because they are great at that. And Baller's Voice, he does a lot of. Like I had yesterday, he does a lot of podcasts. Get him on talking to these players. Yeah. He does a lot of Tosin does a lot of podcasts talking to players, and then myself, I'm coming at the angle where I'm giving you the visuals. I want you to see players, see their personality. Yeah. I have so much idea.
Williams just said it just goes back to Williams. What Williams has said. The people need to be in the right places. So for me, just my opinion, if I was running Basketball England, I'll be looking at you and a Hooper's Voice and BBL Fix, and BBL should be looking at BBL Fix and like. And just combining it all together.
It could,
you know what I mean?
Definitely. Even just little things like a good way to promote, and this is a great marketing thing. Like, you could do something like meet up with a player who played at Hackney or Brixton, for example, who's playing professional right now, he takes us back to where he's from. And then that's you promoting. Now you promoted that club where they're from. That's still big. And then people want to go to that club. Then you go to the team that they're playing at now, and that again does a lot. That's that you kill two birds in one stone just by doing that. And then now you put that player on the pedestal. I don't think they treat them like stars as they should do in this country. As
I said, I think we all need to do more. I think clubs can do more to promote their players, even though they're starting to do that. I think players can promote themselves more, you know? Like, so it's not just one person, it's a collective that all need to do a little bit more for us to... And where do we want basketball to be? I've never ever seen, like, a report or anything saying, but we want basketball to be here in England. Like, we want it to be second to football or fourth or whatever. I've never heard of the end goal of where we want to be. And if you don't have that...
No, I feel like it's been like with basketball to a certain extent. It feels like it's like people with certain credentials, like businessmen or something, come in, all right, let's mess around, do this, that. Yeah, I've got some money, I'm out. And the next person, yeah, I've got some money, do this, I'm out. And it's like...
It's true. But the only bit I'd change is they come in thinking, like everyone else does, basketball, there is potential here, like it's exciting, rare, and then they invest, lose their money, and then come out. Because you can't invest in basketball unless you're in it for the long haul. So I would think that the Royals investment, they thought they were going to get money like back. That's what investors are. You're not going to get money back at the beginning. You know what I mean? It's keeping them in that position for long enough.
Royals, that's going to be a whole nother conversation point, because it was like I spoke to you probably speak to Namo and Junior that anyway. So
I speak to Namo a lot.
I had a conversation about that, and I was like, wow, like I didn't get it. Something that was how I saw it was they tried to fix something that wasn't broken. It's like there's a vase on the table and it's completely fine, but I'm going to put some glue and add some and stuff. Like, what are you doing? It's nothing to fix.
That one, how successful that... Do you know how much, like, people from my generation wish we had that opportunity to play in London at home? And so Orlan, Matthew, all of these guys were so lucky to get that. You know what I mean? I think London Lions are doing a really good job now as well.
Yeah.
Like, but... yeah, it's just like keeping the investors interested, like in basketball, and keeping them for the long haul. Because I think investors see it, this is a quick buck. They realise they're not going to get it, and then they pull out. And it's like with Royals, it was like I thought they did a great job at the beginning, like to win a trophy in your first year.
Yeah.
So they kind of did what Essex,
and they got to the finals as well.
But like a bit like with like their players, they had like absolute ballers come back. You know what I mean? We had youngsters. They had like, if we got Jamel now, that was like but they did it with like really good players. So I was shocked. I wasn't shocked. I was a bit surprised that it ended when it did, because they just won. You know what I mean? Like,
it was weird, man. It was weird. It made no sense, man.
Yeah,
it made no sense, man. What time we on? All right. It's that time of the talk.
Oh,
you watching this one? Yeah, hotspots. All right. Before we head out, because we got another guest.
Oh, you got Josie, innit?
Yeah. That should be interesting.
Yeah, that would be. His story's mad.
Mad, man. Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely get him on my show. Definitely got to get him on the show. Yeah. Definitely. So, two three-part questions. First part: player you love playing with, a player you love playing against, and the funniest teammate.
So player I loved playing with, yeah?
Yeah.
That was my boy Carl Henry, man. Carl Henry, like, if people don't know about him, you should know, because as a point guard, he just made me feel safe. I knew I was getting the ball when I wanted it. I knew if I was struggling, he would chip in and hit shots. And, like, honestly, if you talk to people from back in the day, they'll say Carl should have carried on playing. Like, he played at Jackson State, NCAA 1.
I know what you're talking about, you know, Carl Henry. I think I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, he was a baller, man. Like, and I think because we were, like, he's one of my closest friends, but so we had that understanding when we played, you know what I mean? So, yeah, Carl Henry, definitely.
What would I say? Not playing against?
Playing against anyone at Worthing Thunder. Because whenever I played at Worthing, I had 30. No less than 30. I'm telling you. You can check it. Like, anyone that played for that club, I like playing against. And then, funniest player, right? That's Walid all day. Walid all day long. This guy, oh my God. I was speaking to him the other day, and we remembered, we come back from a game, right? This Walid will fall asleep anywhere, anytime, right? And
anywhere, anytime.
Anytime. So we all got back from a night out, and like, there was a couple of girls there. We took the makeup and literally put makeup on this guy. He woke up looking like a clown. Honestly, like, he's honestly a joker, bro. Honestly.
Oh, Wally, I had a few jokes with Wally, man. He's funny, man. He's funny.
Yeah, you need to get him on as well, man.
The next three part, player you didn't like playing with, so you didn't necessarily hate them, but you just didn't like playing with them. Player you didn't like playing against, and most annoying team, and funniest opponent.
Player I didn't like playing with was probably Greg Hernandez, who played at Leopards, because the guy was literally a black hole. Like, if you put the ball in, it was never coming out. And
I know them players. And
he'd find an excuse, like, oh, your guy was 2 meters away from you. Did you measure? Did you measure the 2 meters? What are you talking about? And also, when we get home, he'd be watching Big Bang Theory and, like, all them shows I hate, you know what I mean? So, yeah, Greg. Who was the other one?
Player you didn't like playing against. Didn't like playing a kryptonite.
Probably, and this has been quite a popular pick, Sam Tolawasi, bro.
Someone else said that.
This guy, bro. And the thing is, it wasn't even playing against him team to team. It was at practice. We would have practice, right, with a game the next day. And this guy's elbowing, kicking, man. Like, and I'm like, Sam, we've got a game, bro. Like, I'm trying not to be injured for the game. It was funny again. Me and Walid were talking, and we were talking about this practice session where there was a play where I had to get free, and Sam was on me. I've gone to push away, and the man's just gone, like,
serious,
hugged me, wouldn't let me go, and I was like a little kid. I was like trying to, like, get his hands, but he's too strong. So I ended up just being like, Sam, man, allow me. So Sam, and then funniest player against, probably my boy Stephen Gill, man, because watching him is hilarious, because he says he's 5'8", he's 5'6", yeah.
Bro, this dude could jump.
He could jump. He could go from one side to the court to the other in 2 seconds. So when you watch him, you're just seeing this little thing go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So yeah, he was funny to watch. I used to
watch it. I remember when he used to kill Leeds, boy, because he was so small, but because he could jump, he used to get a player to set a screen and he'll shoot over the screen.
Yeah, he's the joke.
I'm like, what? I'm like that. I'm like, yo, that's smart, but he's like, he's set the screen, he's shooting over and he's making it. You're like, yeah. I said, that's smart though. Think about it.
Looking at the fan's face when he's like, he goes zoom. Then he's got like that Westbrook, you know, like Westbrook, go 100 miles an hour and then pull up. He could do all of that. Like,
oh, Westbrook, man, fucking yeah, Stephen Gill, man, he's funny, man, he's funny. He's funny, bro. Oh my gosh.
Funny guy.
Some funny stories, man. Shout out everyone who tuned in. Yeah. Follow me. Follow Tanner. Tanner, what's your Insta again?
Tanner_AO7.
Yeah, and follow myself, Everyting Chris _2020. Any more questions? Fire them now. And Tanner, have you got any more questions for myself? Or
I was going to ask you something actually. What was it? I think it was. Would you work with like Basketball England and the BBL and, you know, stuff like that to try and kind of link it together and stuff like?
Would I work with them? Definitely. If it's a case of where I work with them and they give me that platform and a space to be creative and do what I need to do, obviously I would work alongside them. And with that idea. But yeah, if they you know, if I reach out to them or they reach out to me, I'll definitely work with them. Obviously.
Yeah. And are you trying to make this like, is this going to be full time for you?
I want to be doing this constantly. So reason why, because the other side of this is as well as the shows. Did you ever give Williams bucket? This guy here, man.
Williams ever give me bucket? Will? Yeah. Don't let me lace them up right now, bro.
Clown, such a clown. Go add me, man. Williams, add this, man. Anyway, yeah.
Williams
so
has got a podcast as well, but it's about.
Okay, shout me, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to be doing this full time because of what it entails and what like from me just contacting people to get on these live talks. There's a lot behind it, and then me working full time and then doing that as well. It will take a lot up on my time, so it's something I'm pushing for to be something full long term for me, and I just want to be on this, focus on it. Like I plan to go to games as well. Yeah. So I definitely want to go to games live and interact with players before game. You know, like how Craig Sager was.
Yeah.
Interact with the players on the sideline. You know what I mean? And then before game, halftime, pre-game, post-game, and then obviously have my show on top of it as well. So that's where I'm planning to go with it.
Nah, that sounds good, man. Like I said, like this is so big, man. It is a big thing, and like everyone should just try and help and support, man.
Definitely appreciate that, man. Yeah, man. Definitely, man. Mr. Yeah, all right, man. Tanner, man. It's been a great one here, man.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Nice 2 hour special. Yeah, I knew it was going to be a long one. I said, yeah, it's going to be a long one. I had my mind prepared for this, man. I said, yeah, I was waiting. Definitely, man. But everyone that tuned in, man, thank you for tuning in, everyone. And Tanner, bro, I'll definitely stay in touch with you.
Yeah.
And definitely catch up, man. All right, man.
Yeah, man. All right.
Brother. Peace.
Everyting Chris. Everyting Chris. Everyting Chris. Everything Chris. Everyting Chris. Everyting Chris. Everything Chris. I'm Chris G, host of Everyting Chris. Hope you liked that video. If you did, click that like button. Also leave a comment. And also, if you want to see more, click that subscribe button to get a notification when we upload new content every single time. I hope you enjoyed that video and I hope you stay tuned for some more. And also, as you know with me, everything's always Chris.